Good morning, everybody. What is going on? Back again, another CU Sunday, Week 11 edition. Got Prezi, Chris LeBron with me. Got my guy Mo, as always, ready. We're going to look at Week 11 coming up. A lot of good games, some good games. We'll
No,
get into it a little
actually,
bit.
hell no.
There's not
This
really any
week
good
actually
games.
sucks, bro. This week is what everybody thought last week was because of prime time. Like this is actually this week. There's
Yeah.
not really a lot of games worth watching. But last week it looked bad because all the primetime games sucked.
I know the quarterbacks are dying, so
Yeah, that's true too. Like certain games, like Steelers Browns was supposed to be elite, but
So, with that, I mean, might as well just get into it. So let's go ahead and try to figure out what are the games to watch.
it's a bad slate.
I'm gonna be honest, it's a perfect Sunday to have to go to work, and that's what I have to do. So therefore, I'm not too mad about it. If I went for a game to watch,
And you can't say the Monday night game.
you know what? You know what? Raiders Dolphins. I'm gonna say they're riding a 2-game high. They won. I think they come back to reality, but this Raiders team has played for Antonio Pierce. Dolphins, they struggle with teams 500 or better. I think that's one of those games where it's in Miami. I think it's probably the best game on Sunday if you talk about not watching your team and like what else could catch my eye for the possibility. Like if you told me the Raiders got blown out, wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, I think that's a decent matchup because if the Raiders win this game, like they're sitting at 6-5, they're going to be their record. They're going to be like a game behind a lot of teams that they could get into the playoffs. Those same teams, their quarterbacks are getting hurt. They got major injuries. Like between this week, we've had 2 quarterbacks are out for the season. One of the most important tight ends in NFL are out for the season. Like there's some major injuries going around teams ahead of the Raiders. And if they win this game against the Dolphins, like you put yourself in prime position and be like, you know what? We're going to finish out the season kind of with Rick Bisaccia 2 years ago. Like we might actually turn out to be a playoff team. We might play for this guy. So I think the Raiders Dolphins is pretty interesting. But if it gets ugly quick, then it's like, hey, this is just going to speak for the rest of Sunday. But yeah, I think that game's interesting to watch.
All right, how about you?
Texans Cardinals. I'm going to go with simply because everybody's riding off the Texans. They're playing good football. CJ Stroud, is playing tremendous quarterback and all that. But this could be the ultimate letdown game. Because Kyler's back for Arizona. They looked solid. Like Sweet McBride, that tight end. I mean, he had 10 catches for like $140 and all that. He might have a weapon again. Some guys back from injury and all that. Arizona. So. And Kyle's got a chip on his shoulder because he don't want to be, they know they're trying to tank and all that, but he's gonna try to ruin that and all that. So I think this could be a letdown game possibly for Houston. So to me, this is very intriguing. Houston has a chance to maybe win the division if they keep balling out and the Jaguars keep doing what the Jaguars do. So I'm looking forward to this game, to seeing this matchup and see if Houston, takes care of business and all that. They're like 5.5-point favorites and all that. So, but this could be a letdown game for them. So I'm looking forward to this one because interested to see how Kyle looks, his second game back too.
I'm sticking with the Browns and Steelers only because these two teams, the Steelers, we feel like we've talked about for the last 2 or 3 weeks how they're not a good football team. They have a great defense, and that's it. Like they've gotten outgained every single game they've played.
Crazy.
Somehow
so they're sitting at 6-3, dog.
They're sitting at 6-3.
That's got to be the wildest stat in like NFL history. Like a team is 3 games over 500 and they get out yardage.
It is. It is. They're the first team ever. Every team that's been outgained in their first 8 games, now 9 games, has had a losing record, like been abysmal. So to be 3 games over 500 is crazy. Speaks to the greatness of Mike Tomlin,
which I talked about last year, but we won't get. I'll save that for when he retires. We can have the real conversation.
Wait a minute. What was it that Mike Tomlin was the greatest coach of all time?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Of all time?
Yes. Anyway,
he got 2 rings. He got 1 Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls.
He got 1. Bill Cowher.
He went to 2.
Yeah.
He went to 2. Yeah.
But anyways, like I said, we'll save that conversation for when he retires and we can have a legit conversation about it. But Cleveland, at the same time, they're sitting at 6-3. Deshaun Watson has only began to start looking good the last couple of weeks.
Not even the last half. Like he had a second half. Everybody took the second half and was like, "Oh man, he's turning the corner." Like, bro, he had an elite second half, which makes it sound more elite because it was his shoulder and ankle. Like his season-ending injury is he went 14 for 14 and picked apart the Ravens defense with a season-ending injury.
And people questioned him, remember a few weeks back where they were like, is he, maybe he should play and all that. And now we're like, oh, his body's all messed up. It was worse than we thought.
According to Stu, he's soft and, because he went out there with a shoulder that, like, if he gets hit one time, he may never play football again and went 14.
Like a torn labrum or something.
It's bad.
Worse than that. It was worse than that. No,
they said if he got hit one more time in his shoulder the right way, like they said his shoulder would collapse, like his shoulder would fall apart.
That fully guaranteed contract looking worse and worse.
Yeah, it is. But also, PJ Walker has looked really good in the time that he's played.
He's not playing.
No, it's
PJ
the other
Walker's
kid.
not playing?
It's the other guy's playing.
Who?
DTR. Dorian Thompson-Robinson from UCLA, the rookie.
I know who he is.
You should.
I was thinking Dorian Finney-Smith for 1 second. I was like, wait, the guy from the Mavericks?
Get out the NBA.
You gotta be desperate if you're pulling from a whole nother sport. But again,
it popped up on my computer. I was like, wait, what are we talking about?
Two great defenses, like two legit defenses with subpar quarterback play. I still think it's gonna be a good game. I think it's still the game to watch, other than obviously my own game and then the Monday night game, which I think is we'll get into it in a little bit.
It's the game of the week. We know it.
So I guess sticking with it. No, you know what? We'll do the rivalry, non-rivalry of the week. Because somehow, some way,
who's playing? Do the Commanders play the Giants?
We do.
I mean, we beat them this year, so
We did.
Wasn't it?
We are 0-2-1 in our last 3 games against the Giants.
Bro, no way y'all lose to Tommy DeVito, bro. No way. Like, I don't want to keep reiterating because this will be 3 weeks in a row that we kind of be like foul towards Italians, but like no way Danny DeVito beat y'all, bro.
We're gonna win this game, you know that, right? We're gonna win this football game. We're gonna win.
They could have legit Danny DeVito, and I would not be 100% comfortable. Because for whatever reason, like this team, I've never seen a team play to their competition so consistently.
Well, welcome to the NFC East.
This is the team that
except for the
goes
Cowboys
into
for the Giants.
Philly.
You guys win by 40 every game.
This is the team that goes into Lincoln Financial, has a game time drive against the Eagles to force overtime. Should have went for 2, whatever. But still, overtime against the Eagles, lose by a touchdown in overtime. And then 2 weeks later, go into MetLife and only score 7 points.
Also got annihilated by the Bears.
Which was going to be my next point.
He got annihilated by the Bears too. Y'all are the weirdest team in football, I think.
When I tell you play to the competition, like that's what we do.
Because y'all have a guy at quarterback. Like, it doesn't make sense that, like, okay, when you find your guy, like, all right, it's like, because y'all are so, here's why y'all are weird. And I said, like, the Commanders will be, I said this before the season. I said the Commanders are in a weird spot because you want to spend the year finding out if Sam Howell's a guy. Worst case scenario, he's not. You suck. Okay, we tank. Maybe we're in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. Then he starts playing amazing. You look like you found your guy. You're too good to tank, but now it seems like you're not good enough to make the playoffs. So now you're in limbo and you get a really good draft pick, but you're going to pick right in the area where you can overthink it and screw it up. Yep. Like, that's where you're at. When you finish with 7, 8 wins, you sit in the middle of that draft, and that's where GMs start to overthink it and try and reach for a gem, or instead of the guy that fell to you and just fell in your lap and take best position available, like best player available. Like, that's where Washington's in that weird spot. Like, them and like the Raiders are 2 teams that are just in that weird spot. Should we keep winning? Or
the Raiders are even a weirder spot because
they're in a weirder spot because they don't have their quarterback. At least it has their quarterback, so they can focus on anything else they need. They don't have to pick a quarterback.
Like a GM and a head coach.
Bill Belichick, welcome to Washington.
Absolutely not.
Commando. He's gonna be.
I think if that happens, I'll stop.
You know, they said real quick, like, because these games suck, we can go on all these other tangents. You know, they said they think like if Dallas underachieves, like Jerry Jones would have major interest in Bill Belichick. And I said, bro, I will hang up and be a Houston Texans fan.
Please do it.
The Giants, because Belichick has a history with the Mariners, because obviously he was defensive coordinator for us when we won the 2 Super Bowls and all that. And his dream job has always been the New York Giants. So that's something that could realistically happen.
Either one of those.
Having your quarterback is not. You do not want.
Not that I want that. I don't want that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bill leaves the Patriots and Bill goes to Marin and be like, I want to be the head coach. Bill Belichick will be the head coach of the New York Giants.
And Dayball will go back to the Bills and
he'll go to the Bills. That's somebody said that on the radio yesterday. They're like, what if this happens? And they're like, Bill goes to New York, Dayball goes to Buffalo, back to Buffalo, because that's where Josh Allen had most success when he had Dayball, and they reunite and all that. And I was like, I don't want that, but that doesn't sound so crazy. It really doesn't.
It doesn't sound crazy, but bro, I'm gonna be honest, dog. Like if I'm and you never know, because like Dallas could be in position to look for a head coach, right? Like, there's these expectations, and if Mike McCarthy gets bounced in this first or second round again, like now you feel like you've reached your ceiling. You've had these really good teams. You're not going to make a conference championship, essentially. Like if you don't do it this year, you're not going to do it under Mike McCarthy in the next couple of years, I would assume. So now you move on and you look for a head coach. But I'm going to be honest, like, bro, it's 2023. Like, dog, I don't want Bill Belichick. I don't care that our roster is in place. I don't care that Bill Belichick is this great defensive guy. Like, bro, look what Dak's doing offensively. Look at how the offense is clicking. And I know it's against bad teams. We can say what we want, but I think Bill Belichick will damage that. And then he'll come in. Dallas Cowboys are a team that draft really well. Let's just be honest. If there's a team that does draft well, it's the Cowboys. And you're telling me you want to bring in a guy who like shits the bed on drafting to come in here and ruin all that? Like, you get young talent. You always got good players. At the end of the day, you might underachieve, but you always have good players. You always feel like you got the roster to do something. You just don't do it. And then you get Bill Belichick, who's like, yeah, I'm going to take Cole Strange or whatever his name is in the first round, even though he's like not on Mel Kiper's board at all. And no, I don't want that. Like, because Bill wants full control. He won't work in Dallas. I'll say that much.
You know who the Cowboys should go after? Jim Harbaugh.
You just want me to hang up my Cowboys fandom. I'm not rooting for
I just want to see Mo root for a Michigan man.
No,
he's gonna have to root for a Michigan man. No, so I'm rooting for that so badly.
Man, I'll turn into a Giants fan. I'll don a Danny Jones jersey.
I want to see this happen so much.
Next year they'll be 60%.
You know what's crazy? Harbaugh would be the perfect coach for Dallas, though, when you really think about it.
He really would be.
He'd make the offense good. We know how successful he was in the NFL. Like, he really would be perfect. And to be honest, bro, I really wouldn't hate Harbaugh. Like, I can get over the fact he coached for Michigan. Like, you're now in the NFL. It is what it is. Just don't come over here and cheat. Like, just don't hire nobody to be stealing signs. I ain't got time to be dealing with scams.
Hey, man, the Patriots cheated and they almost won the Super Bowl. So, like, and look at how the Michigan's playing. They destroying everybody.
Yeah, and still haven't won. And they didn't benefit from cheating.
Works.
They haven't benefited. People. They lost to TCU. They didn't benefit from cheating.
No, from this year. This is when the cheating started. No, this year.
No, they started 2 years ago when they started winning games.
Oh yeah, when they started being that's what I'm saying. They started becoming relevant, and see, it works.
They won the Big Ten championship 2 years ago.
They beat you guys twice in a row. They won the Big Ten twice. They went to the college football playoff.
A lot of people think and say that beating Michigan or Ohio State, whichever side you're on, is bigger than the national championship. So I guess,
it is in a sense. It is. Twice. I don't think. I'll tell you like this. This is how you know the NFL sucks this Sunday. But I'll tell you like this, for Ohio State, it's not. Like, because of what the past success has been, like, now it will be. Like, we've lost 2 in a row. It's time to beat Michigan. So if we win, that'll be like our national championship, because we know we're going to go on and win the Big Ten championship as well. And that's typically what the Michigan-Ohio State game has turned into. Like, the winner goes on to win the Big Ten championship and plays in the college football playoff. So I think, like, with Ohio State, though, is like this year is like next week is their national championship. Like, in a sense, like, beating Michigan secures Ryan Day, keeps them competitive, because at the same time, he'll go on to win the Big Ten championship, go to the playoffs, probably get a favorable matchup. So, yeah, it is kind of one of those commies and Giants.
So, Chris, do the Giants have a realistic chance of winning tomorrow?
we play the command no matter what the roster looks like for the Giants, no matter if we have a 3-win team, 10-win team, we play the Commanders the best out of any team in the division, right? We usually either win or it's close. We've got, like I said, but we're 2-0-1 in the last 3 contests. I don't expect them to win, but I wouldn't be shocked. Like it's just it's where you guys are a better football team than us. Like I said, we got Mike DeVito at quarterback. Our season's cooked, right? We're clearly trying to go for Caleb now, which is kind of wild because that was never the thought. I assume going into the season, but now that's like a realistic, actually, circumstance like that could happen. So I wouldn't be shocked if they win because Saquon, it's still Saquon, and he could still do some damage and all that. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do. I don't expect them to win, but it's going to be competitive because it's always these games are always competitive between Washington and New York. So I expect it to be a close one, but I do expect Washington, the Commanders. Sam Howell's playing really good football. He does lead the league in passing right now, passing yards, which is pretty impressive. So I expect them to win, the Commanders to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants mess everything up and win this football game and just, they did it. Remember the year where it was between us to get the number 2 pick, right? And we won that game against when Daniel Jones, I think Daniels was a rookie, and Saquon went off that game, and we ended up it worked out in the long term. But most fans wanted the number 2 because we wanted Chase Young, but we got Andrew Thomas. So I mean, it wasn't a bad consolation pick, but that's something like that it's a little different because you guys are better. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a competitive football game though, because it's all it is. But you guys should beat us realistically because we're a mess.
We should. And on Commanders in the chat on Thursday, I predicted, I think I said 31-10 was going to be the final score because I think that right now, the way Sam Howell's been playing, the way the line has been playing, the way EB has been calling plays, I think it's going to be tough for the Giants to stop him. Because I think Sam Howell's only been sacked like a handful of times in the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, they've been a lot better protecting him.
Yeah, after being on pace for triple-digit sacks.
He was on pace to get sacked by like 120 times. Like it was some crazy like that. Like
it was wild. Like he was going to be the most sacked quarterback in history by
far too. Like by double,
by like more than 40 at that point. But it's come down a lot. But again, the way Ron Rivera, for whatever reason, I think there's 2 teams that Ron Rivera secretly loves in the NFL. It's the San Francisco 49ers because he gives players away for bags of peanuts compared to what they're worth. Trent Williams, we got a 3rd and a 5th for him, and then Chase Young, we just got a compensatory 3rd-round pick. Not even their actual 3rd-round pick. The compensatory pick they got for whoever they lost a couple of years ago.
105.
Yeah. Oh, it was the D'Amico Ryans pick they got for losing D'Amico Ryans.
Yep.
That's the pick we got for the 2nd overall pick. Who's playing?
I forgot you guys. You could lose picks for losing like assistant coaches.
Like you gain picks for you get them.
You gain picks. Yeah, forgetting. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like for the 2nd overall pick that is playing the best of his career, even better than his rookie season. Got a compensatory 3rd-round pick. But anyways, that and the New York Giants, because for whatever reason, Ron Rivera just doesn't know how to coach against the Giants, and he keeps it close when it doesn't need to be. So I do think that EB will keep things under control, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if it's another 14-7 ball game.
Wouldn't be surprised. Yep.
So
and me and Cruz are gonna be watching like morons watching this game.
Hey, you gotta love your team, man.
Because we love these 2 teams, but it's so like Mara's been getting killed in the media. Like,
well, I'm gonna come from like a privileged place. Well, first off, I gotta work, so I won't be watching. But like, bro, I hate the Cowboys play the Panthers. Like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, I'm tired of these boring blowouts. And then I'm tired of when we play the good teams, we lose. Like, it's that cycle of like, okay, we play bad teams outside the Cardinals who beat us, which when you really think about it, had we won the Cardinals game, like we're sitting here at 2 losses and considered one of the best teams in football, even though we lost to the Eagles and 49ers. But like, we pretty much blow all the bad teams out. And then like we don't beat the good teams. So you're like in this limbo of like every year, how good are we really? Like you could beat everybody but the good team. So how good are you?
Yeah.
So you hate playing the Panthers, but you're like, damn, we play the Eagles. We're screwed. Like,
Big Panthers fan. Big Panthers fan this week.
yeah, this is the wrong week. This is the wrong week to root for the Panthers, Bucko. I'm sorry.
Panthers gonna get smoked.
Dog, we're gonna have Bryce Young contemplating that he should have stayed at Alabama this week. Michael Parsons is gonna harass him. He's gonna get P. Diddy allegations after what he did.
Did he bop him?
It was just perfect reference, perfect time.
Did he bop him?
So other than your Cowboys, because they're 10.5-point favorites, so we know you can't pick them. Who's your lock of the week?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna pick the Cowboys anyway. That's a true cop out. Jesus Christ. This gets tough. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars over the Titans. They bounce back. I think the Jaguars are kind of like the same type of team as the Cowboys. Like they'll beat all the bad teams. They'll look good doing it. They have a rough time against the good teams. But I think they bounce back. You know, kind of Dallas got whooped by the 49ers. Woke up since, had an advantage of being able to play bad teams after playing the 49ers. Kind of woke up. So I think the Jaguars are going to do the same thing. So I'm taking the Jags. I think Trevor Lawrence will look good. I don't want to say great, but I think he'll look good. I think the offense will look like they bounce back. I know this is a divisional game, so it could get weird, but I think with the way the Jaguars defense has been playing outside of last week, who actually didn't play bad up to a certain point where it's like, okay, the more you put the defense on the field, the more vulnerable they get. You saw that last week. I think the Jags bounce back, win this game, and have us questioning again how good the Jaguars are, but we know how it ends up, just like the Cowboys. Jaguars, welcome to being a Cowboys fan.
Except you guys have fans.
Oh, that too. Yeah, we actually have fans, but
sorry, Jack. I had to throw that at him. So sorry.
Chris, who's your lock of the week?
My lock. You know what? I'm going to change my philosophy of my locks instead of picking like underdogs. I'm going to keep it safe this week. I think the Bills kicked the dog shit out of the Jets this week, so I'm going to go with the Bills.
Oh wow, you're trying to get you're trying to get a win on your.
I need some wins. You know, I've been really anti-Jaguars, but you know, I'm gonna keep the hate off for at least this week. At least this week. You know, so I'm gonna go with the Bills as my lock. You know, I need a win, so
that's solid.
I'm keeping it safe too. I have the Lions at home, 7-point favorites over the Bears. The Bears. I'm not picking the Bears anymore. They burned me a couple weeks ago. I'm still not over it.
Justin Fields, he's playing for his job.
I wouldn't want to play for my job if I was there. I would. Hey, I don't want my job.
If you're Justin Fields, let me ask, where do you want to go? Like, if you were to get traded because they're let's say they get the number 1 pick and they take Caleb Williams, you're Justin Fields. What's the perfect fit for him? I have it in mind. Okay, then cool, because that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders should want him. I think he should want to go to the Raiders. You got some weapons. You got a good thing going. Don't know who their head coach will be. Figure that out. Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. But
I'm going Tampa Bay.
I don't know, because I don't know if Mike Evans will be there after this year.
Yeah, that was the whole reason I said Vegas, was because that's a good way to keep Devontae.
Yeah, but we don't know if Devontae Adams. You think Devontae Adams gonna be like, yo, we got Justin Fields. I want to stay.
I think
no way.
First off, he grew up a Raiders fan. He really wants to be a Raiders fan, and I think
Adams is going to be a Jet. He's going to be a Jet.
I think you could get him to stay by getting Justin Fields, though. I really think you can.
I don't think so.
Because I think Justin Fields
is leaving.
I think Justin Fields is better in a situation like the Bears have DJ Moore. That's cool, but like they kind of suck everywhere else. Like, but they have a lot of cap space and stuff. Like the Bears are in a weird situation where, like, if you want to give Justin Fields 1 more year, you can. You could take a Marvin Harrison Jr. and a Joe Alt, the offensive lineman from Notre Dame, build your team for your quarterback of the future. If Justin Fields falters again next year, and now you get a quarterback. Yeah, there's not a Caleb Williams in the draft, but at the same time, like, if we're just going to bank on Caleb Williams being the next Patrick Mahomes, then, you know, you can lock it in, but situation matters, and Caleb Williams might stay. Like, if Caleb Williams stays, that's the best case scenario.
He wants to be a Giant.
I don't know, bro. Because if the Patriots get that number 1 pick, or if the Bears get that number 1 pick, like, do you really want to go there? Like, I could stay and make $5 million just lollygagging around USC campus and fooling with all the white women.
If the Giants get the number 1 pick, he will come out.
Why would if I'm
it's New York, bro? He loves that shit.
Why would I want
New York?
Because at the end of the day, Caleb still cares about his brand.
He cares about the brand. And what better way to expand your brand than playing for the New
better
York
place
team?
to build your brand.
He literally will be a mega star
until you realize
Odell Beckham his rookie year. Until you realize Odell's still living off his rookie year.
Until you got Caleb Williams and nothing else, and then the New York Giants media by week 4 kills him and calls him a bust.
But he will take advantage of the good. He'll have one good week, and he'll live off that 1 week forever. That's how it works.
The bad is going to come really bad. They're going to call him a bust by week 4. He will be a bust.
Do with every number 1 overall.
At New York radio.
They do that with every.
But that New York radio, y'all, the New York.
New York media is
insane.
It's brutal. Not everyone's built for it, and he may not be built for it, but he ain't gonna think about it. He gonna see New York and be like, I'm gonna take advantage.
Let me tell you why he's not built for it. He paints his nails, bro. I never trust anybody to be tough that paint their nails. I'm sorry.
Catchers do it. Catchers are the toughest players in baseball. They do it. Right, next question.
Mo only watches.
Mo doesn't even know what baseball is.
It's baseball.
He thinks it's the Rays. He knows the Rays.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's all that matters.
No, I never liked the Rays because what they did to Steve Irwin. So.
Oh God. Really
oh my God. Fuck the Rays.
Okay, upset picks.
Right. Oh, Prez, who's
your guy, bro? Oh my guy, bro. Rest in peace.
Who's your
my upset? Oh, I actually go to Mo first because I have to think about this for 1 second.
Mo, do you have an upset? Yeah, I don't even have an upset yet, so I'm
going with the Steelers. I think the Steelers beat Cleveland. I'm not trusting that Dorian Thompson-Robinson is able to get the job done. I know the Steelers. This is going to be a terrible, rugged defensive game. You're going to hear Myles Garrett and TJ Watt name yelled more times than ever. I think this is a battle of possible defensive player of the years between those two. And I just think Kenny Pickett will make one more throw than DTR to win the game. Like, it's just going to take that one throw, that one, like George Pickens happened to catch Denzel Ward sleeping and is able to get them in field goal position, and that's going to be the difference between the game. So, yeah, I'm taking the Steelers to upset the Browns. I don't think neither team's good quarterback-wise. I think Steelers got weapons offensively when you think about it. I like Pickens. I like Deontay Johnson. I don't like the quarterback getting them the ball. Same thing with the Browns. I like Amari Cooper. I just don't like the quarterback to get him the ball. I think this is a weird spot. I also think if you don't have David Njoku in fantasy, you should get him, because what happens? Backup quarterbacks love tight ends.
That's true.
A tight end is the safety blanket, and a backup quarterback will throw the hell out of their tight end in the middle of a zone, because that's the one guy that finds a spot, gets his way open, and he's the safety net in damn near every play. I think David Njoku has a big game. I really do. And that's not just because I have him for fantasy in one league, because I don't have him in every other league. I just think he has a big game because backup quarterbacks tend to love tight ends.
Don't you feel like Njoku should be so much better?
He should be.
Well, he also had his face burnt off, so
no. But even before that, he was like, you always like every year is always like, and he's a Hurricane, so I watch closely. You know, I'm like, every year is like, is just the breakout year for Njoku, and it's like year 6, and it's like, it's never gonna happen. It's like he's one of those players where I always think every year is gonna break out, and then it's year 10, and it's like, all right, we should stop saying he's gonna break out finally.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen. But unfortunately, like, he had flashes this year of some pretty good games. And
yes. He always has flashes, though. It just never happens.
His microwave catches on fire, and it's like, damn.
That's fucked up, bro.
No, I'm just saying. It's like, damn. I wanted to believe.
You got an upset for me yet?
I got an upset. I'm going to go. I went with them last week. I'm going to go with them again. I'm going to go with the Cardinals upsetting the Texans. I feel like Kyler, his second week, feeling more comfortable. Like, we just talked about tight ends and all that. McBride, they seem to have a real good connection and all that. Connor's back. See, Texans have some injuries, especially at the receiving core and all that. Banged up at a little bit of running back. I think the Cardinals pull off the upset. It's crazy to think that's an upset, because at the beginning of the year we thought these two teams would be battling for the number 1 pick, possibly, and now we're talking about the Texans as 7-point favorites in this game. But I think Cardinals. I think they get the first road win. Yeah, now the current playoff team. It's crazy, but I think if I'm going to go upset, I'm going to go with the Cardinals again. I'm going to roll with them.
I'm going with the Sunday night game. I think Vikings.
That's a good. That was the one. That was my
favorite.
They ride the Dobbs train.
Nah, bro. Nah, man. God, man. Hey, and Russ, we trust. All right. Russell Wilson has made me look bad. Ride with him. I gave up on him last year, but hey, the man
bounced back from that 70-point L, bro. Big time.
He's looked. First off, he's looked good pretty much outside of that game. He's looked good all year.
18-4.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's looked good all year, even when they were bad and down in the trenches and in shootouts with the Bears. We're like, bro, they're just absolutely terrible. But Russell Wilson's not playing that bad. I don't know. And this was a team that I don't know if y'all remember, but I did hit in the chat and I hinted towards this on a couple shows like preseason. And I was like, bro, would anybody be surprised if the Broncos were able to sneak into the playoffs? And I'm not saying that like it's trending where it could be possible. Like it's kind of like Sean Payton finally has accepted, like, okay, Russell Wilson is going to be my quarterback. Let's go out here and win these games. We're too good. Once you put yourself out of the Caleb Williams, it just benefits you more to win games. Like you might as well get this locker room. You might as well find out who wants to play for you because you might be making cuts and trades and revamping the roster. But like, bro, the Broncos win this game. Like now they'll be sitting at 500. Like you're having a different conversation. Yeah. You're having a different conversation about the Broncos if they end up looking good. I mean, beating the Bills. I know beating the Vikings isn't the most, without Kirk Cousins, but they're on the up and up. They've looked good with Josh Dobbs.
Won 5 in a row. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. They're 2-0 with Josh Dobbs. Like at the end of the day, like there's a possibility where you could let this game down, but you win this, you're sitting at 500. You look at some of the teams ahead of you. The Bengals are pretty much done. Bills could mess around and lose. The Bills could lose to the Jets prior to the game, like being played, and you're like, man, they're sitting at 5-6 now. Like some of the teams ahead of you look obtainable to kind of get into the playoffs. Texas could lose to the Cardinals, and you're like, playoffs is not out of the realm. Sitting at 500, get hot at the right time. December and January, into November. December is where it matters.
What do you think has been the turn? Because that 70-point loss, that was the worst beatdown I've seen. What do you think has turned around their season that they're a game away from being 500? And we thought this team they might cut Russell Wilson midway or bench him for the rest of the season. We thought that was a real possibility. And now, even though Russell, a lot of his stats have been like in garbage time though, but he looks a lot better than what he did early season, even definitely last year. He looked garbage last year. He looked cooked. But what do you think for you guys has been the biggest turnaround from that 70-point debacle to now being a game away and having some good win? The Chiefs, even in the loss they had to the Chiefs, they lost by 11, but that was a game and all that. Like the defense held their own and all that. So what do you think has been the biggest turnaround for them?
The trade deadline. I think not getting rid of Cortland, not selling at the trade deadline, secured everybody's spot. And they, at the very least, it's a tryout for the offseason to be traded elsewhere. A Cortland Sutton, a Jerry Jeudy, and kind of, after the trade deadline, teams start buying in and really understanding like, okay, I'm here. Like, unless I get cut, I'm here for at least the rest of the year. So there's no point in slacking off. There's no point in thinking that I'm going somewhere. My spot is secure where I'm at. You've seen Jerry Jeudy play better. You've seen Cortland Sutton play better. Simmons has played better. Patrick Surtain, I mean, he's one of the best corners in the game. Like some of those guys that were like borderline possibly being sold or like, in the trade market are now like, okay, we're here, we're secure. We might as well just keep winning games. Like we might as well, now it's time to play football. All that stuff is past. It's time to play football. And I think Denver's playing football and Sean Payton's accepted. Like we didn't sell nothing. This is the roster that I have for the rest of the year. I might as well coach to the best of my ability and get these wins. Keep putting wins in the back pocket. You never know where you end up. Injuries. Cleveland Browns are hurt. Deshaun Watson out. Joe Burrow out. The Bills are failing right now. Like there's a lot of teams ahead of you that looks like they're on the spiral heading down, and you look like you're on the up and up. You win this game, there's a lot of things that could happen.
Yeah. I just feel like Josh Dobbs is just playing. He's just on.
Shout out to the Pastronaut.
Shout out to NASA.
I know, right?
Shout out to Tennessee. Shout out to alopecia. Everything just winning these days. Good for them.
I like the alopecia.
Oh my god!
At least nobody getting slapped over it now. He's out here balling. But I do think again they're just gonna ride that Josh Dobbs train. They've been playing really well without Justin Jefferson, even though he's coming back soon.
He may play Sunday night. He's questionable for Sunday night, so he could.
I wouldn't play him. I give him one more week. It's not like they got like a 2-game lead on that last playoff spot right now. So why not wait one more week?
Pretty to wait one more week. Like win or lose, you're still sitting in.
You still got to win or lose. You're still in a good spot. So why not just hold him off for one more week and then bring him back? You know,
and you still got a favorable schedule for the next couple weeks. So
one thing I wanted to do real quick, just because we haven't talked about it at all on any of the shows, even though we talked about, we'll look at our fantasy rankings for the season.
First place, baby.
In the first place at 7
and the most points in the league. Oh, dominant. It's dominating. I started off 1-2 also. 1-2 start.
Your boy's sitting at 5-5. I think I started 0-3. I don't lie. And then
who's this team? Who's the ever there?
I have no idea. I was gonna ask you.
I either think it's that. All right, I beat him by 120 points.
That's Thad.
Sorry, Thaddeus. I always think it's Chris Bolton, and I always get confused with the teams. And I'm like, wait, did I just beat Dad by $120 and I didn't say anything to him?
Yeah,
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself.
And then you got Mo sitting at 9th.
Who's in last?
4 and 6.
Is that
bro? I'm sitting. You know, it's crazy. I'm sitting at 9th. If I could still a win this week, I could be sitting potentially making a final end run for the playoffs. But yeah, I overthought the draft this year. I took Jonathan Taylor, thinking he would be traded. Put him on the IR. He might be traded. Yeah, I kind of lost in my draft. I think my first 3 picks were questionable. I did take Justin Jefferson, traded him right before he got hurt, so I kind of benefited from that. But yeah, my team started off bad because I went on the limb of Jonathan Taylor will be traded and then be ready to go by week 4 and play for the Chiefs or the Bills or
I picked up CJ Stroud as a free agent.
That's one of my trades, because like I said, I started 0-3. Mo talked shit about me for my draft. He gave me an F, which I guess the draft itself, rightfully so. The thing is, when you're a great GM, you don't focus on just the draft.
It's
our boy Stu.
It's a marathon.
He said I'm good. He deserves his F. No, but I made a trade. I traded Josh Allen for like 3 players that I dropped immediately. And then I had another trade where I got Tank Dell. And I had a feeling Tank Dell was going to be useful. I did not know that he was going to be as useful as he has been.
Well, they sold him on us all year. Like, I mean, all offseason. Like Tank Dell coming out of the draft, he was going to be a steal. How he looked in training camp. Like, they did sell us. Like, at some point, like, you don't expect a rookie to be no superstar right away unless it's like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. But at the same time, like, they did sell us on him all year.
Yeah,
like,
but still, I didn't think he was going to be what he was. But those, and I will say, to be honest, I feel like I've stolen wins the last 2 weeks. And I might very well still win against this again this week, because I'm going up against Aaron of Tacos and Touchdowns, and Joe Burrow, and we know what happened there.
I'm so sorry.
So if all the rest of my players perform as they should, and then I had Justin Tucker get me 11 points, so I might mess around and still wins 3 straight weeks.
Bro, real quick before we go, they say Jim Harbaugh might be suspended most of the 2024 season too.
He's going to the pros. He's going to be a pro.
You want me to tell you, bro? Do you know who they play next year? Bro, they got USC, Oregon. They got USC, Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Ohio State.
They got an NFL schedule.
The only team that has a tougher schedule than them next year, bro, is the Florida Gators. Florida Gators got Texas, Oklahoma, Bama, LSU, Georgia.
What's his face? Napier's going to get fired.
Dog, they go in.
Napier's getting fired.
Bro, like, they go into next year playing Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee.
It's over for them. He's getting fired. He might get fired this year, but next year with that games, and they're not recruiting that hot too.
They better enjoy beating Charlotte and Western Kentucky.
And they play Florida State too next year. Yeah. Oh, it's a wrap for the Florida.
That's like 2-10 season right there, bro. And then Michigan got the gauntlet because I'm pretty sure, they got Texas, Oregon, USC, Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin.
Who? I know we're gonna, but who takes the Michigan job then? Do they the coach now, the assistant coach now?
Possibly, or you look for a new hire, but it's one of
big time.
I think you do the interim coach thing for a year. I think you kind of do like how Ohio State, when they hired Luke Fickell, he was just a bridge during the turmoil and not getting recruits and all that. And then once the allegations are suspension and once all that stuff is uplifted, that's when you go get the Urban Meyer. Like Urban Meyer came a year early. The last year, I'm not saying he's not coaching in Michigan. I can promise you that. He would not go to Michigan. But I'm saying you go get like Urban Meyer came our last year of bowl eligibility. We went 13-0. We looked like we went 12-0. We looked like we could have won the national championship that year, but we weren't bowl eligible. And then boom, turns around the next year and wins the national championship because he knew I recruit my freshmen. They know they're going to be competitive the very next year. So I think you could keep your interim head coach, and then I don't know. It'd be weird when people like get banned and barred. It gets weird.
Yeah, Ron Rivera.
Yeah, Ron Rivera. I don't see him coaching college.
River Vaughn in Michigan. How Michigan fans would kill him.
I'd love that. Bring him over.
You would.
Bring him on.
I wouldn't even care as long as he's not coaching my team anymore.
He turned out to be a good college head coach, though, because of him being the likable person. Like those guys that are likable guys and leaders of men, they may not be the greatest X and O's, but the leaders of men, those work out good in college.
Well, that didn't work out for what's his face, Herm Edwards. He got like fired midway through the season.
He went to Arizona State, bro. It wasn't even fair. Come on, dog. It is a totally different type of recruiting there.
He'll go to Michigan.
He'll go to Arizona State party, not to win the football game.
He didn't look that bad that one year with Jaden.
He definitely didn't play to win the game. That's for sure. Ding, 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 boom.
He went to Arizona State, bro. It's a different type.
It's a nasty job.
Yeah, what's the type of success? The number one party school. Yeah, come play football and don't worry about women here. Oh no, Coach. Monday through Friday we're partying after practice.
So let me ask you guys real quick before we get off. Tua against Vegas or Herbert against Green Bay?
Tua against Vegas.
Those are your quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Good quarterbacks, bro.
Tua. I'd take Tua against Vegas. I think Tyreek Hill has a huge game. Pause. Just
it's a trade deadline. If y'all looking to trade, let me know.
It's a trade deadline too.
It's crazy that I have Lamar Jackson and I might actually still need a quarterback in fantasy.
You do, because your quarterback is
quarterback's about to be a bench player in a couple years.
He's about to be the Rock's face of the league of the Rocks League, the XFL.
There we go.
Him and Josh Allen are going to be the faces of the XFL.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Why you wouldn't say this? If his name was Larry Jackson instead of
Larry Burrow.
Yeah.
Larry Burrow.
He was like Larry Jackson from Midtown, Ohio. You wouldn't say this.
Shout out to Gus Edwards for keep getting touchdowns. That's why he went to.
Hey, the black guy from Pompano has to sit on the bench in 2 years.
Is XFL still around? It's still around. It didn't get defunct again already.
Change his name to Larry, and he's
what? Who's in the XFL? Any good quarterbacks? Any like PJ Walker was in there, right?
PJ Walker was in there.
AJ McCarron, is he with the Cincinnati Bengals
now? I don't.
He's with like the Battlehawks or something.
Yeah.
No, I saw him on the sidelines. Unless he's like an imposter. There was an AJ McCarron when Burrow got hurt.
Yeah, after last season, AJ McCarron
playing now.
He ended up signing with No, it's going to be Jake Browning. Do y'all remember Jake?
Do y'all remember Jake Browning?
Did he go to Washington?
He led that Washington team to the playoffs that one year.
Okay.
And that was the most, I think that was the most disgusting playoffs ever because Washington and Michigan State made it that year.
That was the first year of the playoff?
No, that was it was the second or third because the 1 year I think Stanford had went with Christian McCaffrey, but then they didn't go?
No. That was
that was the year when they played Stanford in the Pac-12 championship. They beat Stanford, and that was when Washington and Michigan State went. And that was I think Alabama blew the doors off of Michigan State, and Washington got beat by.
Who was the Michigan State quarterback again? He went to the Raiders. Connor Cook. Yeah,
it was Connor Cook. But that was the most disgusting college football playoff to ever happen. You had Washington and Jake Browning and Michigan State in there. That's how you know it was a fall off. Like Ohio State was basura. They was bad. We weren't even bad. I think we were 10-2. We're just one game bad enough to not go to the playoffs.
That's crazy.
But anyway, time to pay
College
some
football
bills.
Saturday, baby.
If you're trying to go to any of these college football games today, next week, go get yourself some Ohio State, Michigan tickets. Go to
Yeah,
our partners over at
dollars ain't gonna help you, dog.
hey, $20 is $20. Go over to SeatGeek, use promo code Off the Ball Network, get $20 off your first purchase. Prez, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you and what you have coming up.
You can follow me Off the Ball Pod, handles right below and all that. Always posting basketball clips, basketball stats, always talking ball and all that. College basketball, just posted a show with my guy Kev, Get a Bucket Podcast. We went over kind of Michigan State's slow start to the season and some recruiting stuff and all that. Duke beating them and all that. So check that out. Get a Bucket Podcast. Off the Ball Podcast will be coming back very soon. Got some things worked up in the lab. Also with Omar, we got a new series coming out. So we're going to drop in all that information this weekend. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming on the podcast. So check out and obviously go offtheballnetwork.com, OTB_network on Twitter. We're always doing our weekly, we got the power rankings. We got our Hooper of the night every night that we're doing and all that. So make sure to check that out for all the dope content.
Mo?
Yeah, make sure to follow Up in Flames. Got some stuff in the works. Going to be jumping on Nick Andre's show Wednesday. Should be doing Ken's show here shortly. Hopefully, I got to get my son to get a haircut. So,
crying in the background half the way.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Take care of your kids, bro.
Can't see.
Yeah, and make sure you follow Field Stormers. Me and Walker will probably be doing something in the next couple of days. I work over the next couple of days, so we'll figure it out. But we're definitely going to have something for rivalry week. Big time matchups. Obviously, I mean, the matchup of all matchups. So after today, I will be full blown anxiety for the rest of the week. So just be prepared.
Sounds good. Y'all already know you can find me FNC Pod on Twitter, Football and Chill Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Go check me out on Football and Chill Pod on TikTok. I'm gonna be kind of focused on more short form content in the near future. So definitely go check out those. Next week we will have power rankings once again. Took another week off because people keep falling asleep at their computers.
Dude, literally, I was supposed to do a pod with Kev. I had everything set up. I woke up at like 12 o'clock and be on my bad, bro. I fell asleep for 6 hours. You just out of work. You think you have the energy to do a show or anything, and then you just lay down for 2 seconds and you wake up and it's.
That's why when I get off, bro, you got to catch me like damn near as soon as I get home. Like things got to line up. I just get or else
you get too relaxed. You take a shower, you get ready, and you're like,
couch, bro. It's right.
It's like I'm out cold, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do a power rankings, and I'm like, oh damn.
Mine is just I don't even want to talk to anybody at this point. I didn't hit the shower. I'm laid out on the couch. Like I don't even want to talk to anybody. I don't got enough energy.
The last 2 weeks have been bad with that, but I'm gonna be back on my power rankings and podcast stuff.
So once again, for Prez, for Mo, I'm Cruz. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys.